The New York Subliners have taken a pretty unique approach on TikTok, but it's been very effective, growing from 0 to 85K in just a few months, and there's a lot we can learn. So what we're gonna do today is go through 3 key principles behind NYSL's growth on TikTok. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this video is that I feel like what we're gonna talk about today is very realistic for you to watch this video, understand, and then go and apply into your own strategy, whether you're a smaller organization, a personal brand, a product brand in esports, whatever the case may be. It's very realistic to see this stuff, understand it, and go and apply it, which I think is extremely important. Now, the first principle we're gonna discuss isn't necessarily unique to NYSL, but it is foundational, it is crucial for any TikTok or any social strategy in general, and that is consistency. They are consistently uploading on the platform, sometimes multiple times per day. On TikTok, especially, that frequency can help. You don't have to do that, but I would say once a day, or at least have a weekly schedule. I did a case study on the Sentinels a while back. They did 5 times per week, I believe. So you don't have to post extremely often, but you wanna have that consistent content schedule so your fans know you're active on the platform and they know when to expect your content. And this second principle is something I feel super strongly about, and that's leveraging staff members for content creation. NYSL has empowered Maloney to actually run the TikTok account, and not only run it and manage it, but also be a front-facing personality on the account. And the reason why I feel so strongly about this is that it overcomes a very common objection that many organizations have when it comes to creating content, whether it be on TikTok, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, I don't care. Creating content in general, it overcomes the objection of, we're esports athletes, we have scrims all day, and then we have matches, and then between that we have sponsorship obligations, and between all that, we just don't feel like creating content, which is totally understandable. But because of that, a lot of orgs are often left dry when it comes to content, especially during season. So by empowering your staff to actually be a front-facing personality, that solves the issue to an extent, because now you're able to push out consistent content that's relevant to your brand without having to rely on your esports athletes or content creators. And there are a few caveats before anyone comes at me in the comments down below. Of course, you want your esports athletes to be front and center when it comes to your content. You want your content creators, because you're paying them to create content for you, to be front and center when it comes to your content. But by adding that extra piece of, hey, this staff member is now actually going to be part content creator, you can put less pressure on the other two. And when the other two, the athletes and the content creators, are like in a mood or just not feeling like creating content, or not super creative or busy or whatever the case may be, you can fall back on that staff member. And the second caveat here is, obviously, if the staff member is not comfortable in front of camera or doesn't really have the personality to be that front-facing personality, that was redundant, but you get what I mean. If that's not the case, then it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. But with Maloney, that is the case. He's very personable, he's charismatic, he's a good person to be in front of the camera on TikTok, so it's very effective for NYSL. And I think if a lot of leadership in organizations can get over the insecurity of, oh, what if this person blows up and then leaves our org, or oh, what if this staff member blows up and becomes bigger than us? If they get over that insecurity and just empower their staff members to create content and help them, in the long term, it helps the org too, because if you become known as the org where you can come in and, as a staff member or a content creator, and grow your brand and be successful long term, more people are gonna want to be a part of that organization. This goes beyond TikTok strategy, but I think it's very important to mention that as well. So hopefully that makes sense. But now, before we get into part number 3, which is also extremely important, if you're enjoying this video, be sure you drop a like down below, hit that sub button for new videos on esports marketing and strategy and social media every single week. And now for the third principle today, like I said, also super important, arguably just as important as principles number 1 and 2, maybe even a little bit more important, is experimentation. Of course, they have their baseline Call of Duty content, whether it be CDL content, whether it be Warzone content. Recently, they just hosted a Warzone tournament, so a lot of it's been around that lately. They have that foundational content, which most esports teams should have. You want to showcase your athletes, you want to showcase your content creators at the game that they're really good at. But they're also not afraid to experiment. They're not afraid to push the boundaries, whether it's content formats, whether it's content subjects, whether it's hopping on TikTok trends, whether it's experimenting with really interesting profile pictures. Recently, it was DaBaby with the NYSL logo on his hat. Now I think it's Hasbullah, the meme that's going around. I think it's like a Russian kid that's good at boxing or something. I don't know exactly what the meme is, but point being, they're not afraid to experiment and push those boundaries. It's something that NYSL, not just on TikTok, but on Twitter as well, is good at, is pushing the boundaries in a tasteful way. they know where that line is, and I don't think to this point I've seen a point where they've crossed that line. There hasn't been a point where the community has gotten upset at NYSL for posting something that they shouldn't have. But they're also not afraid to push that envelope and utilize memes effectively. And just overall, when it comes to using memes, I would put NYSL up there as probably the best, or at least one of the best teams in the CDL at using memes. The other one that comes to mind is the Florida Mutineers. But they've taken that approach and applied it to TikTok as well. Like I said, they have their foundational content, which is the clips and the highlights and all the stuff that you would expect an esports organization in their esport to produce. But they also are hopping on TikTok trends, and I'll toss a video up on the screen right now so you can kind of see what I mean, because it's difficult to explain without a visual aid here.
Top 10 COD players I would cheat on my girlfriend with. Number 1, no one.
Why would you make that?
I just want to show you that I love you and I appreciate you.
Patrick!
So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to their approach with experimenting and pushing boundaries with content. And now when it comes to the pros of this approach, the first one being obvious, it helps you to stand out. A lot of esports orgs fall into the same pattern and post the same type of content, and there's no real unique reason for fans to follow them. So branching off and being open to experimentation allows NYSL to be in a position where they're posting content that's unique to other organizations. In addition to that, TikTok very much serves as top of funnel, meaning that this is going to be the first exposure that many fans have to the NYSL brand. And in some cases, NYSL might be the first esport team that these fans are being exposed to, or these viewers are being exposed to, and can ultimately become fans. When it comes to that process of taking someone from new viewer to actual fan of your team, being the first team or first organization that they come in contact with via content often plays a massive role in that. And my point here is that because the NYSL TikTok content is very entertaining, regardless of if you're into Call of Duty or not, in some cases, like I said, they have their clips, they have foundational content, but some content is just funny to anyone on the app. And there might be a handful of people that follow NYSL and just consume their content on TikTok. But over time, they get curious, and because they follow them, they see the Warzone tournament going on. They see that Clayster did something in the CDL match, like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I should check that out. Maybe I should look into it a little more. That takes them over to Twitter or to their YouTube or to another platform, and ultimately, maybe they tune into a game. And that conversion percentage is not going to be very high. It never is. But if you can take a few fans from TikTok and make them real fans of your organization, that's a huge win. And that experimentation, that ability to broaden the horizon of what type of content you're putting out on the platform, increases the chances of more people coming in. And in addition to everything we've talked about today, they're also very good at following best practices on the platform. That's not necessarily unique to them, but I think it's important to highlight for anyone looking to build their TikTok presence. You want to make sure the content is formatted and actually made directly for TikTok. You can repurpose things, especially gameplay content, but you want to make sure that format is visually appealing. Usually that looks like having the face cam up top, then the gameplay and whatever captions you have going on, and just making sure that nothing's blocked out by the icons on the right or the music description on the bottom. Just stuff to keep in mind. Also, when you look at their bio, they give people a very clear reason to follow them. So once someone sees their video, clicks on their bio, it says follow for more COD and Warzone tips and tricks. Very clear value proposition. So along with their meme content and humorous content, they give someone a very clear, tangible reason to follow them. Like, hey, do you want to get better at COD and Warzone? Follow us. Also adds the authority of being a professional Call of Duty team in the CDL, so they know they're legit. Because sometimes you're gonna get those people that say, follow me for COD tips and tricks, that don't actually know what they're doing. So that addition of professional Call of Duty team not only lets people know who they are, but also adds that social proof and that authority for people to say, hey, okay, these people know what they're doing. I'm gonna give them a follow because I wanna get better at Call of Duty. And finally, of course, you wanna link your profiles when you can, whether it be Instagram, whether it be YouTube, because you don't wanna keep people just on TikTok. You wanna get them off platform to more of a destination platform like YouTube. And finally, let me know in the comments down below, what other team would you like me to do a case study on, whether it be TikTok strategy, Twitter strategy, Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Let me know in the comments down below, what content do you want to see going forward? And if you enjoy this type of content, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below for new videos just like this every single week. And if you enjoy the TikTok strategy, I also have a case study on the Sentinels, which have one of the best TikTok presences in esports as well. So if you're serious about growing on the platform, establishing a very sound, effective strategy, go ahead and click on the video on screen right now, and I will see you over there.